Okay. I hope everyone had a delightful lunch. We have great presenters coming up, but we have an opportunity to get involved in a wonderful study. And Eva here is going to give us a brief summary of an opportunity for some teens that you may know.
Thank you. So my name is Eva Henjeblom, and I'm from Sweden, and I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist. And I'm here for a research project at UCSF at Department of Psychiatry and together with the Osher Center for Integrative Medicine. And it's about implementing yoga and mindfulness techniques for depressed teenagers. So it's for a clinical population. And the idea is to do neuroscience also. So we're going to scan these teens before and after the intervention and see whether we can have some effect on brain circuitry and so forth, and looking into other biomarkers as well. So hopefully we'll be able to provide some of this power and hardcore data that is well needed to push this movement further into schools and for everyone, being young and for everyone. So we have got the funding to do this, and we have the whole infrastructure and teachers and ethical approval to do it. And what we are missing right now is actually the teens. So that's why I thought this was such an excellent opportunity to reach out to you, since you seem to be all well connected with organizations, and maybe yourself do work together with teens that have clinical depression. So the idea is that this is aiming for people who have depressive symptoms. They don't need to have major depressive disorder, but some kind of depressive symptoms. And they do have to have some other treatment ongoing as well. So there have to be some responsible clinician in the background. And then they are going to take part in this 12 weeks intervention, which is 1.5 hours once a week, where we'll go through, it will be very much based in yoga, breathing, mindfulness, and life skills training. So please, if you can think of someone, or how we can branch out and manage to get this going, I would be so grateful. Thanks.
You also want to just say one brief word about the exclusion criteria?
Yes. So exclusion criteria are other severe psychiatric comorbidities like psychosis or ongoing drug abuse, severe anorexia, have very severe self-harming behavior, or have a behavior that doesn't work in a group setting. Because since we are trying out the manual in the first phase, and then we're doing a randomized control trial, we do have to have a level of functioning enough for people actually to come for 12 consecutive weeks. There have to be some kind of support system to make that work. So maybe later on we can adapt this also to more vulnerable populations, but for this startup, we have to have that level of functioning to be able to manage to follow through with this. So, yeah. Yes, thank you. Flyers. I'll put my card out there also, and you can email me or call directly to the project manager. And Joe is here also from the Osher Institute, involved in this study, so you can talk with him during the afternoon here, or with me if there are further questions. And we can email out any information, flyers, recruitment material that you need. Yes?
What is the cap age?
14 to 18.
Oh, okay, so strictly teens.
Yes, strictly teens.
Okay, and there can be some drug abuse and just not serious drug abuse.
Yes. So we allow all kinds of comorbidities like anxiety, or it's just that it can't be that severe so that it interferes too much with the intervention at this stage. Yes. Thank you.
So we're moving into this afternoon with some experiential time. So we wanted to have a way for you to have an experience of what people might actually be doing with children, something you could take back with you into your lives and your work. So we're very delighted to have Meena Srinivasan here, who will offer something for us, followed by John Redger.
Thanks, Leslie. Can everyone hear me? All right. So there's a handout that everyone should have in 2 pebbles. Raise your hand if you don't have a handout. So Beatrice, I see a hand over here. And if you don't have pebbles, keep your hands raised. Do you? I don't see. I just want to make sure everyone has the materials. So if you need pebbles and a handout, raise your hand, and Beatrice will come around and sort you out. So hands raised if you need. Don't need one? Okay, I think we're good. All right. So we just had a bit of a transition, and one of the things that I'd always do after lunch is spend some time with my students, making sure our minds and bodies are connected. So our bodies might be in my classroom, but the minds might still be at lunch. So I'm going to just invite the bell and bring awareness to our breathing, just for a few breaths. So get into a comfortable position. You can close your eyes if you feel safe to do so. If you're sitting in a chair, grounding your feet. Making sure that your abdomen isn't collapsed. And if it feels natural, you can bring a gentle half smile to your face. And as I invite the bell, just bring awareness to your breathing for 3 deep breaths. And if your eyes are closed, you can gently open them. And coming back. So one of the things that Thich Nhat Hanh usually says is that, if one hand represents your mind and another hand represents your body, when we bring awareness to our breathing, our mind and body come together and we become established in the present moment. So I'm going to first teach you how to introduce a very popular practice in the Plum Village tradition called Pebble meditation. Is anyone familiar? Anyone done this before? So a couple folks may have done it on a retreat or so. And I'm going to explain how I'd introduce this in a classroom setting with younger children, but once you practice it yourself, you can adapt it and use it with older children or college students. I know a lot of adults, and actually teachers I work with really enjoy this practice. So here we have a little illustration that outlines the practice. Really what it consists of is using pebbles to help us breathe mindfully and cultivate wholesome qualities. And those wholesome qualities are freshness, solidity, clarity, and freedom. Let me go to the next slide. So these are just some reflections from former students of mine around Pebble meditation. And I do want to take some time to just share the importance of creating a space where the whole range of emotions are welcomed and accepted. And Amy touched on this before, but I think oftentimes students can think that, oh, meditation's supposed to make you feel calm. And I don't know about you, but that's not always the case with me. It brings up stuff. So to really kind of hold that space when you're sharing these practices with young people. We can go to the next slide. So all of you have a handout with you, and you have pebbles. And I'm gonna teach you how to introduce all 4 aspects of the meditation, and then at the end, we're gonna experience just half of the meditation just because of time. And so what I'm gonna invite you to do is, with your handout, turn to the first page. And when I introduce this with young people, I oftentimes will either use a handout similar to this. I've kind of kept the student writing in there just so you can sort of see an example of how some kids respond to the answer or to the prompts. You can also fold a paper into 4 quadrants, and then each quadrant can represent a quality and an image. So the first quality is freshness, and the image is a flower. And in my experience, middle school boys don't really connect with the whole flower freshness. So depending on the age group and my relationship with the students, I always give them ownership to choose their own image, but I do keep the qualities the same. So, what is your image for when you feel particularly fresh? So we're going to spend a little bit of time now choosing one of our 2 pebbles. And when you do this exercise, you usually have 4 pebbles. And my mom got these for me from the dollar shop, like bags of these pebbles is where they're from. But you can have students actually go and collect the pebbles themselves. So choose one of your 2 that you feel particularly connects with a feeling of freshness. So choose one of those 2. And once you choose that pebble, place it down on top of the part of the paper, or part of the page that connects with freshness. And if you have a writing utensil, you can write down, and if you don't have a writing utensil, you can just do this mentally. Just think of a time when you felt particularly fresh. So you see the example there is one of my students feels fresh, energetic, and joyful and playful when they just wake up in the morning and plays with their cat. So, when do you feel fresh? You raise your hand if you need more time. Okay. Can we go to the next slide? All right. So when I introduce this practice to young people, we kind of choose our pebble, we connect with when we feel fresh, and then we actually engage in that part of the meditation practice. But today I'm going to, again, kind of go through introducing all 4, and then we'll actually do the practice at the end. So this is just a meditation card. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower, a human flower. Breathing out, I'm beautiful just as I am, and I feel very fresh. And on the in-breath, we can just silently say to ourselves, flower, or whatever image came up for you with freshness. And on the out-breath, fresh. And we just do that 3 times. And so we're going to move on, because again, we're going to have time to practice this more in depth towards the end. We're going to move on to the next slide. And so the next image is that of a mountain. And the quality that we're trying to cultivate is that of solidity. And I had the the opportunity that when I was living in India, John and Mila Kabat-Zinn actually came to my school in New Delhi, and they did the Pebble meditation with our whole 4th grade. And as part of the social studies unit on peace, Pebble meditation, oh, hope that's not me. Pebble meditation was one of the practices that every 4th grader learned. And the enduring understanding for that unit, those of you that are familiar with understanding by design, you know that enduring understandings are what has lasting value for the rest of your life, you know, what you ultimately want kids to leave with. And it was peace in oneself, peace in the world. And when John and Mila practiced this with the 4th grade, John talked a lot about the mountain and how, and some of you might have heard him say this before or read it, how the weather around the mountain changes, but the mountain is still there and it's still solid. So take some time now, and you're going to pick up your other pebble. By default, it becomes your solidity pebble, but when you have 4, it can be more interesting to choose. And I'd like for you to reflect on a time when you felt, sorry, I think my hair is messing with the microphone. Reflect on a time when you felt particularly solid, strong, and confident. And you can just kind of make a mental note of it or write it down. When have you felt solid, strong, and confident? And if the image of a mountain works for you, you can keep that. If there's another image of solidity that you like, that's also an option. And sometimes, depending on the setting, depending on the class, I might sit cross-legged and pretend that, you know, I'm like a mountain and my kids will try and push me. So just as a way to also introduce them to the importance of posture when you're, you know, and how important it is for you to not have your belly constricted. So that's why I have that picture up there. And then you also see one of my students using a Sharpie marker to decorate his pebbles. I always give them an opportunity with markers to decorate their pebbles, especially if they choose to cultivate like a different quality. Like I had a student who really wanted to meditate on love, or a student that really wanted to meditate on kindness. And so they would write that on the pebble or draw a picture that they connected with. So that's usually a lot of fun, especially with younger kids. So does everyone have their kind of their image of when, or the moment when they felt confident or strong? All right, so we're going to move on to the next slide, and here's a little meditation card. And we'll have time at the end to meditate more deeply to the image and to the quality using mindful breathing. So we can go to the next slide. So the third quality is one of reflecting things clearly, clarity. And the way I introduce this is I get a huge container of water, and usually a clear plastic container, and I ask the kids if they know what the word reflection means. And we talk about, you know, when we might have seen a reflection of ourselves in a lake, or and then we talk about the percentage of our bodies that are made up of water. And some kids actually know about that. A lot don't, depending on the age group. And then we take some time to, in our fingers, and kids love this, to shake the water. And when the water shakes, that lends itself to a discussion of, well, can you see a reflection clearly when the water's shaking? And kids are like, no, can't. And then you can sort of facilitate a longer discussion around how, you know, if our bodies are made up of so much water and we can't see things clearly, you know, when the water is shaken up here, you know, obviously we can't see things clearly when we're shaken up in ourselves. And so then we talk a lot about the importance of having clarity and clear seeing and what that means, and try to engage them in a discussion around, examples of actually reflecting things clearly. And, this could relate to not gossiping with young people. And so still water is the image, the idea of like a still, clear lake. So if you want to take some time to connect with when you felt calm, still, quiet, and focused, you can write that down or make a mental note. Does anyone need more time? Can you raise your hand if you need more time? Okay, so we're going to move on to the next slide. Here's a little card, a meditation card. And we'll have time to, or actually we're not going to engage in this, we're not going to have time to do all four, but this is the card. And just a word around language. When I introduce this in the classroom, I actually don't use the term meditation for a variety of reasons. I call it Pebble reflection, and some of my students just started calling it peace rocks, so that's another name that's come up for it. And we can advance to the next slide. So the last pebble is my favorite and also the most challenging for me to practice, and that's around feeling free and spacious and free from anxiety and stress. And you see there, that's one of my students who that's their free pebble. And when introducing this particular image and quality, the images of a spacious blue sky, we talk about what it feels like to feel stress-free. When do we feel free of stress? And to really spend time with young people, connecting with an experience or image of when they feel stress-free. So I'm going to invite you now to take some time and write down or make a mental note of when you felt particularly free from anxiety, spacious enough to hold all there is, like the sky. And depending on the age group and setting, I share this quote that I love from Thich Nhat Hanh, from Thai. If your cup is small, a little bit of salt will make the water salty. If your heart is small, then a little bit of pain will make you suffer. Your heart must be large. And for me, that quote really connects with this idea of spaciousness, of space. And so we'll advance the slide. There's a little meditation card. And are there any questions about introducing the practice before we actually go into to do it ourselves? Yes?
I had a hard time with the collapsing of the belly. I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, sure. It's important that, for me, that your breathing gets constricted if your belly's collapsed. So whenever possible, like if I'm sitting down, I always try to make sure my knees are lower than my abdomen, because otherwise the breathing gets constricted. Does anyone have, yeah?
I'm curious if do you do like one lesson plan for each quality, or do you do it all in one lesson?
It totally depends on the students. And there's been years where I've done it at the start of like a humanities lesson. I've done one quality. There's been times where I've done all in an 80-minute period. It really depends. And when sharing a lot of these practices, you can have the tools and guidelines, but ultimately it's your understanding of who you're working with that's going to guide how you go about teaching. So, any other questions? All right. So, I'm going to invite you to first pick up your fresh pebble. And you're going to place it in your hand and observe it. Can you go back to the fresh slide? Sorry. And connect back with the quality that you wrote, or with the image, sorry, that you wrote down when we were exploring this quality of freshness. And look deeply into this little pebble. And you're going to now place it in whatever hand feels right for you, and you're going to gently close your palm. And as I invite the bell, and what I'd like for you to do is just connect back with the image of when you feel fresh. So bringing awareness to your breathing. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. On the in-breath, flower, or whatever image you connect with. And on the out-breath, fresh, 3 times. And gently open your eyes. So in a way, when we connect with our image of freshness, we're breathing that into the pebble. And that's what I share with young people. And so whenever they're stressed or they need to feel fresh, they can reach out, and this pebble is now activated with that quality. So we're going to move on to the quality of solidity, the image of a mountain. And you're going to take your mountain pebble, place it in your palm, look deeply at it, and connect to when you felt confident and solid. And gently close your palm around that pebble. And we're going to now breathe that quality of solidity into that pebble. So breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. Nothing can move or distract me. On the in-breath, mountain. On the out-breath, solid. and come back. Thank you. Just one word around language used with inviting the bell. So if you notice, I never say ring or strike the bell. So one of the things in the Plum Village tradition is we always say we're going to invite the bell, and before you invite the bell, you wake it like that, which is sort of a signal that you're about to invite it. And that's about it. I think John is going to present another exercise. So.
So hello again. Hi. So what we're gonna do, since one of the main topics of the weekend is compassion, I'm going to offer the loving kindness or compassion practice that I do with the kids. And so at first I was gonna do the practice as I teach it with adults, but then I think it would be better to show you how I would do it with kids. But what that means is you have to pretend that you're in 3rd and 4th grade. So, so take advantage of this opportunity to be a kid again, please, and have some fun with it. So the way in which I would introduce this topic is I always try to draw from the kids their own answers and definitions for the words, partly because I'm a very intellectual, analytical person, and it's hard for me to think like a 3rd grader after all the complicated scientific language. So I try to rely on them to be their own teachers and their own experts. So I would say to them, so can somebody tell me what love is? So can somebody raise their hand and offer me a definition of what love is? What was that? Chocolate? Yes, yes. So if we were to eat a piece of chocolate, imagine what that feeling is. That's a pretty good feeling, right? Yeah, yeah. So that's kind of what love feels like. Yeah. A happy feeling in my heart. Very good. Yeah. So can other people connect with that? Nod your head if you understand that. Yeah. Okay. Very good. So how about one more? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a feeling of closeness or wanting to be with someone. Does anybody ever had that experience? Yeah. You nod your head. Yeah. Okay, great. So now we kind of know what love is. So can somebody tell me what kindness is? Has anybody ever experienced kindness or can think of a few words to describe that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you're nice to someone. Yeah. Has everyone had that experience? Yeah. Okay. Any other definitions? Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Sharing your lunch or your Legos?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, lunch and Legos, that's really good. So sharing toys. So what I want to do for this practice is kind of combine that feeling of love that we were talking about and this idea of kindness. So when we put them together, we have this practice that's called loving kindness. So what's involved in this practice is imagining that we're being loving and kind to ourselves, and then we're also going to be offering these feelings to someone else using our mind. So we'll picture people in our minds and then imagine that we're offering these feelings to those people. So what I'd like for you to do is, if you're comfortable with closing your eyes, please close your eyes and just sit in a way that feels good for you. So it doesn't have to be any fancy particular posture, just what feels good for you. If you'd rather not close your eyes, it's okay to keep them open. Just try to settle your gaze, what you're looking at in a gentle way on something. So the first part of this practice, what we call loving kindness, is to just bring a picture in your mind of someone in your life that loves you very much, that you really feel like they love you. And if you can't think of a person, there might be an animal or a cartoon character, or maybe you've been to a park or somewhere in your neighborhood where you feel really safe. So someone that loves you very much, or somewhere that you feel really safe. And as you're imagining this picture, maybe notice how you might start to feel a little bit different. So maybe you have that feeling like eating the chocolate. You start to notice that, or someone talked about feeling something in your heart. Maybe you can feel some changes in what's happening in your heart. If you're having a hard time kind of connecting in with that, one thing that I like to do that I find helpful is I'll put one of my hands on my heart. So if that's something that you'd want to try, you can imagine this person or this place with your hand on your heart, and you might get more connected into your body that way. Good, so holding this picture in your mind, we're just going to take a few more breaths. So just breathing in through the nose and really noticing how this breath feels. And nice and easy breathing out, so gentle breathing. Let's just take 2 more breaths like that. So 1 more. Good. So then having a moment of thankfulness to this person for showing up in your mind, or for this place or this animal. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let that person, place, animal just kind of be released from our mind. So you can, if your hand's on your heart, just let that go as a way of kind of symbolizing that you're letting go of that picture. So the next part of our practice is to pretend that you're looking in a mirror and you're seeing yourself in the mirror. So just take a few moments to bring this picture of yourself. It's like you maybe just woke up in the morning and you're looking in the bathroom mirror, and just whatever it is that you see. And then once you feel like you have this picture in your mind, if it's comfortable for you, again, go ahead and place your hand onto your heart. And then we're going to imagine that we're giving this love and this kindness to ourselves. And so there's a few sayings that we can use to enhance this feeling. So one thing that we'll say is, "May I be happy." And you can even say your name in there if you want. So just saying it to yourself, "May I be happy." So picturing yourself in your minds. And "May I be safe." And "May I be healthy and well." And "May I be free from worrying." And so go ahead and just say those a couple more times to yourself. And I'll guide you along as well in case you forgot, or you can make up your own fun sayings. So "May I be happy." "May I be safe." "May I be well," and "May I be free from worry." And so just take 3 breaths here. Just breathing in through the nose and feel the belly expanding with the breath. And breathing out through the nose and belly softly falling. And so 2 more times on your own. And then when you're ready, you can just release your hand and as a symbol of you're gifting yourself with those feelings and letting this picture of yourself be released. And the next part of our practice is to imagine someone that you love. So it might be a parent or a sibling or a dear friend. So picturing this person as if you're looking at them in front of you or holding a picture of them. And then once you connect into that picture, again, if it feels good for you, place a hand onto your heart. And then we'll offer these sayings of loving kindness to this special friend. And you can put their name in there if you want. So, may you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be well. May you be free from all fear. And if you want to again make up some phrases of your own, feel free. We'll just say these 2 more times to this special friend. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be free from all fear. And one more time on your own. And just taking about 3 breaths here as a way to allow these feelings to be really felt in the body. And so breathing in here, then as you breathe out, you can release your hand out like you're offering these feelings to that friend, and then allowing the picture of this friend to be let go of. And then in the next part of the practice, we'll focus in on somebody who you might not know all that well. So I like to think about somebody around the school who works at the school that maybe you don't know that much about. So it's kind of like a person in the community who you'd like to offer these feelings to. So maybe there's someone who comes to the school and does the yard work, for example. So imagining that person in your mind, like you can see them in front of you. And when you feel connected with that picture, again, put a hand on the heart. And again, we'll offer these phrases to that person. So may you be happy, and may you be safe. May you be well. May you be free from all fear. And a couple more times on your own. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be well. May you be free from all fear. And so one more time and start to maybe deepen through the breath a bit. So breathing in here, then when you're ready, as you breathe out again, release the hand like you're offering these feelings to this person. And so the next part is to focus on someone who maybe you had a little bit of trouble with recently. Or maybe there's someone at school that you have a bit of a harder time getting along with, but someone who you'd still like to maybe make friends with or offer these warm emotions to this love and this kindness. And whenever you have that person, again, you can put a hand onto your heart. And bringing a picture of this person in the mind's eye here. And we'll offer these phrases of loving kindness to this person. So may you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy and well. May you be free from all fear. So just a couple more times on your own. May you be happy and may you be healthy. Bless you. May you be well and may you be free from fear. And a couple of slow, steady, deep breaths here. So breathing in and with the next one, you can again use your hand to kind of offer that feeling outward to that person. And then the last part of our practice is to imagine that we're giving these feelings to everyone. So I like to picture the earth in my mind when I do this. So imagine that you see a picture of the earth. If maybe it's in a textbook that you saw it on TV, or maybe you can pretend you're standing on the moon looking at the earth. And then we'll offer these phrases to all beings. So again, if it feels good for you, put a hand onto the heart. And then may everyone be happy. May everyone be safe. May everyone be free from fear. May everyone be happy. May everyone be safe. May everyone be well. May everyone be free from all fear. And so one more time on your own. And a couple of deep breaths here. So I'm breathing in and breathing out. Another nice long full breath in here. And this time with the out breath, imagine you're offering this energy out. You can again use your hand to send the energy out. And then we'll just take a few moments in time here, breathing to allow these feelings to be kind of settled into the body. So just sitting in stillness as best as you can, and a couple of breaths here. So I'll help you to deepen your breath, so I'll count off the breathing. And this particular way of breathing helps us feel a little bit more calm. So just go ahead and exhale all of the breath out. Good, so next breath in, breathe in through the nose for 5, and for 4, and for 3, and for 2, and for 1. Then slowly exhale through the nose for 10, and for 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And we'll do that one more time, breathing in for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, breathing out for 10, for 9, for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Then everybody take a nice long full breath in through the nose. This time open your mouth and let out a sigh. And good, so a deep letting go. And what I'd like to have the kids do at this point is to stand up. If you want to stand up, you can stand up. And then really feel your feet on the floor. So stand like you're a big tall tree, nice and strong. Imagine tree roots of energy reaching all the way down to the earth. If you want to make any other movements, trees have big branches, stretch out the body. And good, and let's all take another nice long full breath in here, breathing in. And then with the exhale, letting it all go. And you can shake it out a little bit. So just letting it all go. Right, so you can sit back down. So that's an example of how I might introduce this. And one thing that I also do is I have a worksheet that goes with it, because can sometimes be challenging to keep the kids in that inner space. So they can write down the names of the people as they go along on the worksheet. So that's another way that you can work that. So, did anybody notice any difference in how they're feeling now from how they were feeling before? Any volunteers? One word, it could just be a simple word.
Release.
Yeah, release. Anyone else notice any difference in what they're feeling?
Awake. Awake.
Awake and connected.
Happy.
Good. Yeah, happy. Good. So, yeah. Focused. Yeah. Spacious, good. Yeah, and these are answers that we hear a lot from the kids. We get a lot of happy, calm. Sometimes we get the sad too, and I try to educate them around how we can have a number of different feelings afterwards, and all of them are okay. We welcome all of them because it's okay to have different feelings. And one of the important things we can learn from this practice is it's a way of working with what we're feeling. So our breathing changes how we're feeling. Sometimes imagining pictures in our mind of happy people that love us, people we love, can help change how we're feeling as well. Yeah. So I think that's about my time. Yeah. Thank you.
On mindfulness with parents of special needs children.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was only children with autism, but a lot. Mm-hmm. Do you know the?
I don't know of that study. So yeah, one of the things I'm hoping to do at Stanford is to find out who's doing mindfulness work and meet with them, because it's an interesting thing that in academia sometimes we live in our pockets of our research labs and don't poke our heads out too much. So that's why, again, as I was saying last night, having community is really important so we can learn of. And for a while, the research lab right next door to me, like literally the door next door to me, they were doing a mindfulness program, and I had no idea that they were also doing mindfulness. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. Yeah.